Yeah.
Throughout my life, I've been rejected many times, and much worse than what the average person has ever got to experience, because people with Asperger's syndrome face an extreme amount of rejection. With that in mind, this is going to be a very interesting and intense subject. I have been having to deal with this shit ever since I was in grade school, and as much as I had hated gym class and sports, I was always the last person to be picked on the team by those stuck-up, snotty, conformist pieces of fucking filth. People with Asperger's syndrome have a difficult time at making friends and finding someone to date. And by the time that I got into high school, most of the kids were a bunch of stuck-up, cliquey, snotty, weak-minded, conformist pieces of fucking filth. And I was so fucking horny, and I was desperately hoping that one of those stuck-up, popular, phony assholes would have at least been nice enough to let me stick my dick in their ass. And with any luck, I would have gotten a piece of fecal matter on my dick. I noticed that popular people act like their shit don't stink, and I want them to prove it. Also, these conformist pieces of fucking filth would go up to both the boys and the girls and say, she likes you, or he likes you, and then they would laugh and giggle and say, no, I don't. That's an example of what our schools are like, a bunch of mentally retarded conformist pieces of fucking filth who think it's cool to play a bunch of stupid games with someone who's unpopular and different, although the unpopular kids have a lot more intelligence and creativity. People continue to reject me after I became an adult, and even though my spoken words is very unique and creative, I have experienced lots of rejection in the poetry community as well. I remember this coffee shop in which I did spoken words, and I would go to their open mics, and I was very lucky enough to meet a lot of cool people who really enjoyed hearing my stuff, but as time went on, there were fewer and fewer cool people there. The woman who owned this coffee shop seemed nice at the beginning, but she turned out to be kind of an uptight, uptight fucking cunt, who wanted me to tone down what I was talking about. I remember one day she tells me that this is a place of peace. What the fuck does that have to do with me? Just because I say what's on my mind makes me against peace? What it really means is that she was trying to use this touchy-feely sensitivity shit to manipulate me into giving up my right to freedom of speech. I am sick and fucking tired of this sensitivity shit. I notice that these uptight, PC fucks who expect me to give up my freedom of speech to be sensitive to their needs are the same people who could care less about being sensitive to my needs. These people are so fucking arrogant that they think sensitivity is a one-way street. They can go take a flying fuck. The nerve of these fucking hypocrites for expecting me to be sensitive to them. Fuck them. Furthermore, I'm not going to give up my freedom of speech because it's not very fair for the cool people who enjoy hearing my material. I've also had a lot of bad luck at poetry slams with judges who have given me very low scores because I'm interesting and creative. I tend to notice that most poetry sucks. It's nothing more than a bunch of pretentious dribble. Most of these poets are nothing more than a bunch of cliquey, stuck-up, pretentious chicken shit conformists. But some of them talk about how much they love people. But they're very selective about who they love. I would suggest that they would start practicing what they preach. Another thing is the rejection that these people have given me goes much deeper than being so-called vulgar. I once did a thing about Asperger's syndrome, and only a couple of people were cool enough to tell me that they liked it, including this one person who was going to school to become a teacher, and she told me that the vulgarity in my spoken words wasn't much worse than what other people were talking about, and she knows a lot about Asperger's syndrome because she studied that in school, but the other people don't get it. Well, those who don't get it but expect me to give up my freedom of speech to please them can go take a flying fuck. These people ain't any better than the conformist pieces of fucking filth who I went to school with, and I won't forget my 16th birthday, which was also the second day of a new school year of shit. And I won't forget Jimmy, who I thought was my friend, but he was smiling and he was being all nice and all the other popular conformist pieces of fucking filth, but he didn't bother to even say hi to me, which caused my 16th birthday to be the deepest and darkest and worst day of my life. Furthermore, I'm willing to bet that Jimmy spent the entire summer having sex and going to sex orgies. I never got invited to a sex orgy. With that in mind, I hope that someone ends up fucking these popular stuck-up teenagers up the ass without a condom and give them AIDS. And I want these popular conformist assholes to suffer, and that is why I enjoy watching the Friday the 13th movies along with other horror films, because there were multiple times when Jason would sneak up on a couple of stuck-up teenagers and chop them up with an axe right while they were in the middle of fucking, and that was fucking beautiful. I also want to focus on the people who have accepted me, because I don't want to be about total negativity here. Like my friend June, who likes to steal toilet paper. I feel accepted by my cat because cats are better than people, but even maggots are better than people. Sure, maggots like to hang out in garbage and shit, but I never once had to deal with a maggot copying an attitude with me. And I won't forget the time when I was in high school when this jock conformist piece of fucking filth kept calling me a faggot and told me that I'm a disgrace to the school, but this other kid was at least cool enough to sneak up on him and told him that he would bash his fucking brains in if he didn't stop that shit. I am certainly grateful to those who enjoy hearing my spoken words, because those are the cool people. My parents seem to enjoy it when people would reject me, because I deserve to be rejected. Besides, being rejected has caused me to turn out to be a better person, and it shows.